Hey everybody, it's Aquila and this is a lefty-knitter podcast and this is episode 68. Today is June 1st, it's Monday. I had a very good Monday, I'm not gonna lie, my hair is doing some crazy stuff, sorry. I entered a contest through my work and I won. So that's exciting. Yeah, very exciting, sorry. You can find me on Instagram as aquilladahun, and you can find me on Instagram as a lefty-knitter podcast. You also can go click the link below and join the Ravelry group. I'm hosting a Cowl, which is going to start on June 6th, and it's the Birthstone Cowl 2020. You can knit, you can crochet. I should have put in there that you could spin, you could weave. I mean, I'm really okay with all those things. The qualification is you have 2 months, it must be a new project, and you have to use at least 75 grams of yarn, and at least 75% of those 75 grams should be your birthstone color. Although I was brought up a very interesting question today, or at least I saw it today in the Ravelry group on the chatter thread, about April, which is diamond. Diamond's a weird color because it's clear, and white yarn, not that everybody is boring, but unless you have like something I think specifically in mind, I think that's really hard. So I just want to clarify right here, right now, that if you have a birthday that's April and it's diamond, I think there are diamonds that come in other colors, so if you can justify why, I'm okay with that. Or if you are just not finding the right color for diamond, I would also allow you to use your significant other's birthstone colorway, or if you don't have a significant other, maybe you have a child and use their birthstone colorway, or maybe a parent's if you have neither of those. I don't want to limit somebody because diamond is a difficult colorway, I think, to come up with something. Unless you used something that was a very majority white with speckling, or even if it was like, had some stellina in it that made it like sparkle like a diamond. I am not going to be like that super strict, and I'm sure heck not come into your house to check your birth certificate, nor am I going to weigh your yarn or try to approximate that you use 75%. I think most people that are going to put their time and effort into a cowl are gonna try to abide by the guidelines as close as possible without being completely like off the grid, right? At least I've not hosted any cows, but the ones I've entered, I feel like most people are really in it to participate and chatter and enjoy the theme of it, because it is fun. So I think I finally have picked mine too, just so you know. First, I want to show you the 3-color cashmere cowl. It is now officially finished. I have woven in the ends. I blocked it. We had such a nice weekend here in Maryland, and I blocked this, and my little one was like, well, what are you doing? Because I roll my wet object in a towel and then I kind of prance around on it, and she's like, can I help? And so she was helping me step all over the towel and squish all of it out, and she like unrolled the towel and it flew out, and she goes, it's still wet. Like, it's definitely gonna be wet, but not soaking. She's like, yeah, it's not like it's dripping. So she helped me pin it out onto a board, and we put it outside in the sun. Now, I didn't pin this down really super tight or stretch it because I just don't feel like it needed that. So I just did it in case the wind caught it a little bit so it would stay attached to the board. I did go out every so often and I rotated it, so I didn't have those distinctive lines down the edges where it kind of is like a dry fold line down the edge of the cowl. Don't ask me what I'm doing, I'm sorry. But I've had that happen on cows before where it's like if I pin it and leave it and it's like really like if I stretch it a little bit and really pin it out, you get like if you had something folded after you had it in the dryer and it was nice and warm and then you folded it, you get those lines. Or if you've ironed something and you get that crease line, I feel like you get that in your knitting. So be aware of that when you're maybe blocking something. And if it's drying really quick on a warm day, like I did, I just went out and kind of rotated the cowl like a quarter of the way around, so I didn't get those really hard lines. You can't see any of them, I don't think. That's me from just folding it recently, but it's not really that distinctive either. So you start actually the other way, and this is a Hohi Locatelli pattern, and it's 3-color, and you start there, you knit up. I did get a little bit of a line, didn't I? I tried. I think the last turn I got distracted and I forgot it was out there. I didn't even realize it. But all the ends are woven in. It smells lovely. Here, smell. I'm in a really goofy mood today. I'm sorry. This is gonna be a present though for my mama. I think she's really gonna like it. I think I'm gonna keep it folded this way so I don't get those lines as much. Because this is gonna be for Christmas, so I might have to like fluff it out again before then. I think I have definitively decided I want to use this yarn. I want to use the fully spun yarn. I want to see how this knits up, and I'm excited about it. Let me take this. I've never unfolded this, taken it out of the skein, so let's see what it looks like. It's probably not gonna, oh yeah, you can definitely tell how it's gonna color change. Because look at all those brighter colors on the inside, and it's changed on the outside. Give it a good thwacking, and there you go. That's so pretty. All right, I think because I really like this one a lot, and I don't know what I want to do with that other one yet. So I could use that because it's a nice tonal, it's kind of tonally. I might use that in something else. But I was down to 2 patterns that I was gonna make with this. I'm only gonna tell you about the one that I think I've fully set my heart on. I've already have this in my library, so I'm excited to use that. I'm also excited that it's a male designer, although I've knit quite a few things from men designers before. This is called the Moho Shawl, and it's by Christopher Salas, and it was published in Jimmy Bean's Wool. So in the pattern, you see other people have done it in other, like in striping, but I'll just blow up the picture because it's gonna be easier. I already read through the pattern and I'm really excited because he gives the instructions, so you can use like any yardage and any weight really. So let me see how hard that's gonna be able to view. Okay, so one side of it has lace work and the other side is garter stitch, and it's a chevron type pattern, and I think that's really gonna be interesting with the yarn choice that I made, because you're gonna have these chevrons going like this and the color changes are gonna be like that. There's another one that has color work in it. Let me show you that one because you can see what I'm talking about a little more clearly. You can really see the lace on that one, on the bottom side, and you can see how when I knit this with this colorway, you're gonna get that like pointy shape. So I am excited to make this. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get this probably this week, skeined up into a ball, and that'll be exciting to see how it looks in a ball. Or a cake, I mean. Yeah, so yay! So I'm excited for more people. I said excited like 3 times in the last minute. All right, it's been a day. I'm gonna stop here, but I have nothing else to show you right now. until I cast this on, except the socks. And I probably am not going to show them until I'm done. Although I did the heel flap and I'm working the gusset decreases now. That's exciting. Again, stop it. I just want to take a moment here and talk about what is happening in the United States. And just in the world as a whole, really. And it's racism, and racism is a huge problem, and it needs to be talked about. I also believe that me being a white woman, I need to not silence my voice, because I'm not going to silence my voice about this, but I need to stand back and let the people of color tell their stories, because if we're not listening to their stories, how are we ever going to move forward? There's like a story going around on social media, and it's about a black man feeling more comfortable walking his own neighborhood if he has his daughter and his dog with him, because people look at him differently. And again, me having white skin, I've never had to think about that. I've never had to be like, oh, I need to have my kid with me for people to think that I'm a decent person. It's difficult. So I am here to help put out the voices of people of color in whatever way possible. There was a hashtag that I used yesterday, and I see a lot more people using it, and I have now started following that hashtag, and it's now my brain's not even thinking right now. Amplify melanated voices. So I'm going to keep using that hashtag, and I'm going to keep posting in my stories and in my feed as best as possible to help amplify those voices. Makers of color, writers of color, designers of color, anything I can do to help put their story out there, their voice. Gigi made a post today, and if you don't know who Gigi made it is, I'm in this knitting community. It's kind of surprising, I guess, because she is a very I shouldn't say she's outspoken. I feel like she's just saying what needs to be said, and she is well known, I believe, in the community because of what she is doing for herself and her peers. She made a post saying, "Me wanting my life to matter takes nothing from yours." And that's true. It's not hurting me at all. What is it doing to me? Nothing. It's not hurting me. Letting people get their story out is not hurting my life. It's not impacting my life. It's not making my life any worse. If anything, it's educating me. I posted in my stories some books you can read. There's a few on that list that I've already listened to, that I've downloaded and listened to. So there's tons of resources out there, and you need to just do your research. I've said this before, that you need to do your own research. Even for donating too, you need to do the research first, because there's a lot of I shouldn't say they're like bot accounts, but they're just not the right account that you should be donating to. So, well, some people are donating silently, and some people are educating themselves, and some people are having those conversations with their family that are really difficult. And needless to say, I've had to have this own conversation in my own family, and mostly with members of my family who are of an older generation. And it's a taught thing. You're not born to hate. So, you know, we have to teach our children, right? And if they follow bad examples, you need to correct those people who are making those examples in your life and in your family. Whew, sorry. But I really do highly encourage people to start doing their research and doing reading and listening to podcasts and watching documentaries and educating yourself. So, yeah. So as again, white person with a very small media platform, I'm going to do what I can to get other people's voices heard. I'm going to do what I can in my own life and my surrounding communities to try to fix this, I guess, as best as you can. So I just had to put that out there. It's been weighing on me for days, and so yeah, that's what I have to say. And it's a difficult conversation. A difficult conversation to have. So, but it should be had. It needs to be talked about. So, okay. Before I get all more teary-eyed and start crying even more, it's almost 9 o'clock. I have to log in for work, and zen. All right. Till the next clip that I share here. Take care of yourselves. Okay, so it's a little hard to go from the last clip to this clip because I don't want to just be like crazy enthusiastic, how I can be sometimes on this podcast. Again though, it's a topic that needs to be talked about, and it's being talked about. So, and I have more to talk about in a little bit. First, I want to show you my new shirt. We got this while we were on vacation. So in Tennessee, if you've never been, they have mountain coasters. Now, I don't know if they have them anywhere else, which they probably do. I just haven't been anywhere else that I've seen them. So mountain coasters are like a single track looks like a roller coaster track, and you're in a single car though. So you're by yourself. It's pretty open, like the car's really open. You can find video of it online or pictures, and you can ride with a younger person in front of you. They have to be a certain height, but you can ride with them. And it has these bars that you technically push forward, and if you push it all the way forward, you're opening up the brakes to go as fast as it possibly can go. And then when you pull them back, it starts braking. It's kind of intimidating to like just open it up, but it's a lot of fun. So if you ever get a chance to do it and you like roller coasters, I highly recommend them. The shirt, so we had not 8 years ago or whatever, when we went to Tennessee the first time, there was only 2 mountain coasters, and we had went to both of them. Now there's quite a few more. And this place was not open when we were there, so this place is new, and they have goats. And it's called Goats on the Roof because in the gift shop part, it's 2 stories, and the goats can climb up on the outside from their pen onto the roof, and they have like, the second story doesn't take up the full square footage of the first story, so there's windows in the second story, and the goats roam around, and it's all like sodded. So you can see the goats climbing around on the roof. So I got this shirt, and it says, "Hey girl, hey," and goats on the roof. And I love it. I think it's the cutest shirt. Really like the color too. I don't think I have any shirts that are like t-shirts that are this color. Okay. Enough about non-knitting items. Today is Saturday, and I'm wrapping up this week's episode. I have another finished object to show you. Probably has cat hair all over it. Ta-da! Now this was the first one I did, and it started at the black and ended at the green. I should probably tell you the yarn again. This is the yarn by Hipstrings called Double Minor, and my colorway is Raven to Green. So you get the black to the green. You get 2 skeins, both dyed exactly the same, and you can flip them like I did. You can knit them exactly the same direction, your preference. Or you can use them however you want. It doesn't have to be socks. This was my first one. I did both of these top down, cuff down, 20 rows of 2x2 ribbing, and I did 100 rows on the leg. I was trying to maximize all of the yarn, which you can see, that's all I have left. Not much. The second one I did from the green to the black. It does look a little different. I feel like the green and the greenish area, this area that should be like the same where it's on the foot and the leg, this one has a lot more gray in it than this one does, but that's okay. I still really like them. I think they're beautiful, and I would definitely buy their yarn again. I was saying that I use US ones. I use 9-inch circulars. I only switch to magic loop when I do my gusset decreases, and when I close up my toes, I switch to magic loop because it's easier than on the 9-inch circulars. I use the Chaigu, and I love them. Love them. These are 64 stitches. Love these. They look so good. They're like done. I gotta take pictures. I gotta try to get all the cat hair off and then take pictures. The only, no, not the only, I shouldn't say that. Okay, so my mom bought me a knitting tool, and you've probably already seen it if you follow me on Instagram. She got me an Addi Express circular knitting machine. It's the king size one, so it's the big one. The smaller one you can kind of do socks on, and I almost wish it was that, but look, I'm gift horse mouth, etc. You know, that saying. So I've been playing around with it. And so as soon as she gave it to me, I went, and I have this bin of just not scrap yarn. I have this bin of big box store yarn. So like Michael's, Joann's, AC Moore, etc. And I went digging. I have to lean down and grab some things. So the YouTube channel I've been watching is called Yay for Yarn. YAY for Yarn. I'll link it down below. The first thing I did was the double layer hat. So you oh, I should show you the machine. It's 64 stitches. It knits flat panels. You just switch this toggle switch here to circular to flat. You crank the handle. Now, if you've watched Amber of the Yarn Hoarder, she has a couple different machines, and she's been cranking out hats for charity, and it's amazing. Crazy pants. She bought the attachment that you can hook up to this and then hook a drill up, and it turns it really fast. I would be a little nervous until I got used to using it that I would drop some stitches. you really have to be mindful of the yarn you're using too. So because of the size of this, because of the needle size it is, it's more meant for a worsted weight yarn. I tried a bulkier yarn, and I had a little bit of issue. So I think it's really meant for DK worsted-ish. I haven't tried holding 2 strands together. I'd be afraid I'd lose one strand. I don't know. I'd have to play with it. I have put a lot of stuff on this and taken a lot of stuff off and frogged it that just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So it's all about practice. But Yay for Yarn is the YouTube channel that I've been watching. She's amazing and has a lot of great videos. So she has a video for a beanie, and it's like 2 layers. So what you're doing is you're casting it on, you're making a long tube, you're casting it off, and then you're practically just pulling those ends in real tight to cinch it. So there's not decreasing, it's just pulling it and cinching it. I can't pull this apart to show you the tube because I've already tacked it down. But I started, so they're reversible. I started with this color, so I would have started here, and you crank and crank and crank. And I did an even number of rows with this hat, so it's even, but when you fold it up, obviously I didn't know how many rows to do because this is huge. So when you fold it up, you get, now these are a little big looking because they're kind of like a bulky weight hat because it's 2 layers. So I think it's so cool, and I'm excited to crank out some stuff and donate it, or crank out some stuff for family members that I typically wouldn't probably make things for, or friends that, you know, aren't quite as hand knit worthy. Yeah, so the other side I just used this camo yarn. I'm not exactly sure what these yarns are. Some I have labels and some I don't, so I apologize. But it makes a very loose stitch. Now this one, I didn't know what I was doing. Obviously, I made it way too long, and I wasn't holding tension on the yarn that was feeding into the machine. So it was a lot more loose. The second one I did, sorry, the cat is in the litter box, which we have moved into here for now. The second one I did, I held the tension a lot more, and I watched another video, and this was not from Yay for Yarn, and I don't know if she has one. I'll try to find the video I watched for this, but I did color work on it. So I did 10 rows of one color, and then instead of having the yarn go through the feeder, now if you've not watched any of these videos or seen how the machines work, I apologize. Instead of the yarn going through the little yarn guide, I pulled the yarn out, and then you're holding 2 colors, and you're switching the color every time the next needle pops up as you're turning it. So it's every other stitch is a different color. And I've tacked this one down too, and I can't undo the tab, but I've done my 10 rows, then I did the color work, and then I knit so much. I tried to do it halvesies, didn't really come out halvesies. I also didn't have a ton of the pink. The pink I didn't have a lot of. So I switched back to I started with the other end. I started with the blue. I did the color work with the pink. I knit pretty far with the blue, like I said, and then I switched to pink, did color work, and I didn't have any more pink. So I just went straight into knitting with the blue and then bound it off. This one I didn't try on, so let's see. I held the tension a lot more, and I think this yarn may have been more of a DK weight. Oh, it fits. It actually fits pretty decent, so it can be like Sachi. I was talking with Andrea, who the CATT lady, CATT lady, who has a podcast, and she got a knitting machine. She did not get this brand, but she also got one. So we've both been like messaging each other back and forth about our knitted objects. But you can see the size difference. It's not huge difference, but it definitely makes a difference. Now the third hat I cranked out, I don't remember which color I started with, so I guess it doesn't matter. I used every bit of this color. So I think I just cranked until I ran out of this color, which goes in to the other side. And then I switched to this blue because it was kind of coordinating. So now you have this one. I held really tight with the tension, so it actually fits really tight on my head. Again, if I wanted to make it to be more beanie size and didn't have this fluff, I would have to like do less rows. Sorry, crazy hair. Now, I'm cranking these things out, and I had this idea because, well, you know what? I'm gonna jump back to that. Let me real quick. Today is June 6th, and today is the first day of the Birthstone Cowl 2020. So use the hashtag Birthstone Cowl 2020. I balled my yarn up, and I am definitely casting on that shawl. I'm very excited. Look how that color changes. That is beautiful. I am using, again, this is fully spun, and this is the Fingering Super Green Brooks yarn. Love this. So join in on the cowl. I have all the instructions on my Ravelry page, and yeah, I'm really excited to cast this on today. I haven't gotten the needles out, but I will. So yeah, Birthstone Cowl 2020, and I'm super excited. And remember, there will be 2 gift cards, both of $40 each, one from Melissa of the Rising Tide Fiber Company and one from Brooke of Fully Spun. That will be the winners for the finished object thread. Yay, very excited. My cat wants to come back up here again. I had a video of him earlier. Sorry, bud. He just wants all the love. I can't help it. Okay, back to my thinking and what I've done and what I'm going to be doing. And I'm not sure of an exact date, so please keep an eye on my Instagram about what I'm going to talk about right now. I decided that, sorry, I don't have a ton of resources. I don't have a ton of extra money. I have money that I know I wanted to donate to an organization for Black Lives Matter. And I've been doing some research. I've been talking with people. I want to help locally in my community here in Baltimore. So the Neighborhood Fiber Company is the organization, is a company. It is a Black-owned business. Her name is Karida. You've probably seen her if you've been to Maryland Sheep and Wool. She has a shop in Baltimore City. She had started a GoFundMe, and I think she just keeps it open for the funds to keep flowing in. And it helps for different causes within the neighborhood. So, and it helps for Black community causes. So right now, it's really, she's going to be donating the money. I think for like to donate to Black Lives Matter. I'll put the link to her shop and you can read all about it. It's called the NFC Momentum Fund. And so that is where I'm going to be donating my money. I want to do more though. So as I was cranking these hats out, I was like, what if I made an object that I could auction? People are always on my Facebook page saying, oh, can you make this? Can you make me that? And, you know, hand knitting items is time consuming. And I thought, wow, I can really crank out some stuff on my machine. And I have yarn that's just sitting for no other purpose. So I cranked a long tube to make a tube cowl. Now I've finished it and I'm going to show you. I want to put it up for auction, and I've talked with John, and we are going to put the auction up. I think it's going to be done on Instagram. I've seen people do auctions on Instagram. You post it, there's a time limit, it starts, it ends, and you comment the price, like sold, and the dollar amount that you would pay. and then the next person would have to bid the next amount up. Now, I'll probably do it in dollar increments, possibly like $2 increments. So if somebody bids 20, the next person has to bid at least 22. I'm not going to put it in where people bid 22.01. That's just ridiculous. So John and I have decided that I don't know how much this will go for, right? I have no clue how this is going to work. I'm also, it's going to be the United States only because shipping could get expensive if it's not within the United States. The shipping will be paid directly from us. We are not going to be taking that out of the money that the winning bid is on. So we are going to double the amount up to $100. So if it sells for 50, we're going to double that and donate 100, probably even more than that because I was planning on donating 100. So if it gets up to $100, I'm doubling that. So I will be donating $200 to the NFC Momentum Fund, and I'm really excited about this. I had already actually started the cowl not knowing what I was going to do with it. So I had picked some colors in my yarn box that were kind of Baltimore colors, and you'll see why, because they're the football player colors. I had a lot of yarn because I've made just some random stuff in those colors. So let me just show you. So it's a tube cowl I cast on my machine with waste yarn first, and then I started with the black and I went to purple, and then I did white, and I did that 5 or 6 times. I think it's 6 repeats. Sorry, this is like crazy to show. I made it a little long. I wish it was a 1 repeat less, but it wraps around 2 times very nicely, I think. So, and I'll disclose what kind of yarn it is. I'll disclose that it comes from a pet-friendly home, a smoke-free home, etc. in the auction. So it sits pretty nicely as 2. Now you can do it as 3. And it would be really nice under your jacket for winter. So this was a way I thought that I could help monetarily. If this goes well, I might be doing more. I might be just locally with people I know that have always asked for hats and whatnot, and asking them to... Sorry. Z came in and was asking me a question. So, I was getting back to what I was saying. Friends that possibly would want something on the machine, I would just ask them to show me receipt that they have donated to a cause that is helping in the with the climate of what's happening in the United States right now. Wow, my hair is crazy. Or if they don't know who to donate to, they could pay me and I would donate all of it. I have yarn that I could just crank out different hats, different cowls. So that's just my idea. Apologies again. I'm here for longer than like 10 minutes recording and there's interruptions. So, I've said so a few times. I know I did it before I paused. That's just my thoughts. I think I will try to have the auction for this in about a week's time, only because I want to get it out there that I'm doing this, get it shared by people so I can get as many people interested as possible. I know you're not paying so much for the object, right? You're paying for the cause. You're paying to help. That's what you're doing. So I get that this is made out of Care-On Simply Soft, and it doesn't cost a ton of money to make this, but it's not about that. It's about the purpose. So I hope that if you follow me and you believe in what I'm talking about, that you will help me share this. Again, I won't be able to ship outside of the United States. It gets very pricey shipping outside of the United States. I would love somebody that's like from Baltimore to win, only because of the colors, but I know it doesn't have to be based on you liking the Ravens, right? So it just was, it's just what I had pulled out of the box. So, all right. Any comments, please leave them down below. Any questions, please leave them down below. Join in on the birthstone cowl. I'll have the link below for the Ravelry group, and you can read all about the rules there. One thing about the cowl, I was watching the Toad Hollow. Yes, the two sisters. Why can't I think? I'll link their shop down below. They have a color called Moonstone, and I thought, you know what? If the yarn isn't exactly the color, but it's the name of the birthstone, like that would be really cool, right? So again, if you can work it into the way of the cowl, like whether it's the name of the yarn is the same name as the birthstone that you're knitting for, or if the color matches, I am not going to be a super stickler for this. I have not done one of these before, so this is all new to me. So happy casting on. That's what I'm going to be doing today. And I hope you had a really good week. And until next time, knit happy, y'all.